Hey everybody. Okay, so we only have a few more weeks left. I think it's a good time for us to pause and reflect and maybe take some emotional inventory to see how you are doing and how your children are doing. I just read an article from Common Sense Media that tells us that 40% of teenagers right now are feeling lonely. I don't think we needed that survey to tell us that. They definitely miss their friends. This continues to be a bit of a struggle, and I think right now is probably where they are losing some momentum and motivation. So I think it's a good time to check in with them. As parents, selfishly, I think we've enjoyed, or I know I have enjoyed, this windfall of time that we have with them. It's not normal for them to spend copious amounts of time and hours with their parents and their siblings. So as parents, we are grateful for that, but it's not their norm. As Lisa Damore, who's a psychologist, I think eloquently says, is that the teenage developmental years are sort of like a swimming pool, and parents are at the edge. We're kind of the place where teenagers, when they're tired of swimming, kind of check in with us, regroup, maybe watch a moment of TV with us or cry because something happened, and then they dive back into the pool, kind of where they're learning their skills and developing their identity through the relationships they share with their friends. That's the normalcy of how it's supposed to go. Right now, they are sort of curbed over here at the side of the pool for an extended amount of time. And so, again, as parents, we secretly like that, I think. And are grateful for that. And don't get me wrong, I think it's really good for family time, and it's been a wonderful gift. But I know that the teenagers are anxious to jump back into it. So it might be a good time to say, what are those open-ended questions that get the conversation going? How are you doing? Obviously. But then more specific questions like, what has been the most difficult thing for you during this transition? What do you miss most about being physically at school at Bayside? What's been the biggest challenge for you? And then also the more hopeful questions, because the reality is they've learned a lot about themselves and they've gained a lot of skills that they didn't have maybe 6 weeks ago. So the autonomy that they've exhibited, the independence that they've gained, which is exactly where they need to be developmentally, we certainly can applaud. And so I think honoring those skills that they've garnered in the last 6 weeks is a huge accomplishment. And it really shows that resiliency comes from adversity. It really does. I give the example all of the time that there was a biodome experiment where everything was perfect. The soil was perfect. The sunlight was perfect. Everything was ideal conditions for a growth environment. And what they realized is that the trees, instead of being ideally strong or perfect, were actually the opposite. They were easy to push down and they had little strength. And that is because they had no adversity, no strong winds in order to kind of withstand and get stronger against. And that certainly goes with where we are today. It goes for you as a parent as well and for our country, that this adversity hopefully will make us stronger and make us more resilient as we learn things about ourselves and move forward. So check in and know that I'm here and will continue to be here as you need. Be well. Thanks.